And here we go. We're going to
I'm
talk Regency.
good. I'm pretty
What?
good today. If people will pretend like I don't have glasses on, I'm Roy Orbison's sister.
Or I wear those sunglasses
Is
on.
that night? Oh,
No, no, no,
I had
no. Glasses
glasses
at
at night.
night. Okay. So 10 podcast questions that we're going to talk about the Regency era. First, define Regency for me.
It's a time in English history where the King George was cuckoo, and so his son became the regent, and it's that's why they call it the Regency era. It's a little past the time that I'm writing about right now, but it fits right into some of the books that I've already written. So
All
it
right.
was lovely to talk about it.
All right. What was the very first romance book you ever read, and did it change your life a little bit?
I I can't remember the very first book that I read. I remember some of the books that I first started reading right after I got married, and the one um, Catherine Ayers, Kathleen Ayers. I really like her writing, and another one is Scarlett Scott. And woo, hot, hot, hot.
All right. So you're writing about dukes and debutantes. But if you lived
Yes,
in the Regency era, who would you actually be?
if I was in the Regency era, I would want to be as close to royalty as I could get, and that would be a duchess. I'd have to be married to a duke, and everybody kissed their behind. You one bad word from a duke or a duchess, and you were done. So if I had to go, I want to go big.
Your
Go bigger.
four, awesome. Your Four Horsemen series is packed with strong male friendships. Why was that so important for you to write into the romance series?
Well, I think that close relationships are important anyway. I think that in order to integrate the stories and then pull one out for each individual book is a way to do that by having those close relationships. And I think both men and women should have close relationships, especially they were all marquises. And the higher you get in the peerage, the harder it is to really discern your friends from your users. And so the fact that two of them had known each other since they grew up, I mean, since they were in leading strings, and the other two that they met in Eton bound them. Uh, they were all only sons. And so that added to the strength of their relationships.
Did you ever base your villains or your rogues on real people? Be honest.
Well, I, I've known some really mean people, some really uh, hurtful people. We all get fooled, I think, one time or another in our lives, don't we? At least once. Um, but the men in my life have been very good to me. I have been very fortunate. I hear women all the time saying, "Oh, men, they're such buttheads," and I go, "No, they're not. Men are wonderful. I love men. You get what you ask for in this world. You know what I'm saying? And if you say all men are buttheads, guess what? You're going to get a bunch of
Yeah,
buttheads.
and if you say all clients are idiots, you'll get
Then
a
you're going
bunch
to
of
get a bunch
idiots.
of idiots.
Idiots.
Yeah.
And if you
So
are,
I
and being open to things, I think in life you learn that, and you're like, oh, wow, like I had a client that I was working with for 13 plus years,
Wow.
and never got me a referral. Got
What?
me one client this year that's led to almost three referrals already, and it could be 10. So it's just, it's amazing to look at. Either it could be just right place, right time. You never know when an opportunity comes.
That's
So
true.
you have to be open to whatever.
Well,
But if you
look,
force it,
no,
you make
that never works.
mistakes.
Never works. It never works.
Okay.
So yeah, I always have little mantras that I say when I remember. But like um money always comes to me, and it does. I or loving relationships are all around me, and they are. So
Mm,
you get what you ask for in this world. You got
exactly.
to ask the universe or tell the universe what
Totally.
you
You
want.
want, because dollars want me, dollars love me.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Because that comes from the book Dollars Want Me by Henry Harrison Brown.
Oh, really?
You ever read that book, Dollars Want Me?
No, no, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. What historical detail or social rule from the Regency period that absolutely blew your mind?
uh, there's so many when it comes to women. I feel so bad for the women of that era. Um, if if you got caught in a man together with a man on a terrace, then you were ruined. And if he didn't marry you, you were done with the. They call it the ton, and the ton was all the aristocracy that spent all their time together. So they were just a little nagging, gossiping group. And women didn't have opportunities like men did. Women couldn't go to higher education. There was just a lot. I mean, women were really screwed back then. Women think, readers sometimes think it's such a romantic era, but if you had to live it, no.
Okay. Got it. What's the trope you would never get tired of writing and one you'll never touch again?
Oh, well, I like all troops or tropes. Uh,
Troop. I don't even know. Trope.
it's a trope.
What's a trope?
Trope is like, oh, it's a stupid word for I'm sorry, not stupid, but I don't know why they call it that. But it's like rich man to poor woman, or hate to love, or friends to lovers. That's a trope.
I
uh,
got it.
and I, I can't think of a trope as far as historical romance. I can't think of a trope that I would be negative about. My characters come into my head and tell me what they want to do. They do. I have, I just sit down and they talk to me, and they say that I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm going, okay, we'll do that. And so then I build a story. But um, I I'm not adverse to writing anything as long as my characters want to do it.
I got it. Okay. There's a lot of heat in your books.
Yes.
How do you balance steamy with story?
Um, well, it's kind of easy. It actually is very easy. Actually, that era, that people were very promiscuous, but they didn't have TV, so there wasn't much else to do. But I can put them in a situation where if they're together on a trip, or if they're um, together at a ball and go off, there's easy ways to get them together. I just it's a fine balance between writing a sex novel and writing a romance novel that has sex.
Got it.
Capiche?
Yeah. What's one thing readers always assume about your books that actually isn't actually true?
Oh, I don't know. I I'd have to ask the readers that. I don't know. I know my readers ask, where's the next book? I'm waiting to hear about Fred, or I'm waiting to hear about John and Stevie. They're asking me all the time about these characters, but they don't ever. That's about all I get from them.
Got it.
Or where do you get these ideas? Or did you make this up? Or I keep messing with my hair. Um, those kind of questions, but that's about it.
If a Netflix producer is listening right now, what book should they option first, and who's playing your lead characters?
Oh my gosh, that's a cool question.
That's my genius brain.
I would love it, because my stories are so great and would make excellent TV. They'd be excellent. But you would have to do the Four Horsemen. You'd have to do them in order. I know that all the characters are introduced in the very first book.
Mm.
So you would at least have to have that first book. And then as a screenwriter, you could integrate other stories into it if that's what you wanted to do. But I write the Four Horsemen in a sequence.
Got it. Okay. Best place to go, MinaValentine.com. Appreciate it, Mina. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. That's a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Mina Valentine